Diddy is friends with a lot of famous people, or at least has been over the years. And, the feds say part of the reason that he made these tapes was to blackmail people, obviously, blackmailing the participants, people like Cassie, to keep them in line, according to the indictment. But what about rich and powerful people? Do you think the feds have reams and reams of video and that there are rich and powerful people we may know, on those videos in the freak offs?
I do, and I'm here in Hollywood, and Diddy's parties were notorious and one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. If I were one of those rich and famous celebrities and I participated in these sex acts, I would be very concerned. I would be talking to a lawyer. Um, at best, I'm a witness. At worst, I'm a co-defendant. And I thought that the feds were actually thinking about potentially charging others, and that's why it took 6 months to arrest and indict Diddy. But it turns out that wasn't the case. But if you believe U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, and I do, in the reports, there are at least 50 witnesses who that the feds have spoken to, and I bet that some of those were participants in the sex acts.
Do you see the feds going through those videos and identifying the people in them and seeking them out, in particular, if they are wealthy and famous people, and saying, okay, do you want to be a witness or do you want to be a co-defendant?
I think they are, and I think they should. Obviously, very different case, but one of the criticisms of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is that the rich and famous people that participated in the sex acts were never brought to justice. And even Epstein himself got a sweetheart deal, probably because he was very rich and well connected. So, if there are other celebrities, they shouldn't get a free pass merely because of their wealth or their fame. And, I think that the U.S. Attorney's Office going after Diddy, obviously he's going to be their main target. But if there's other people that were participants, they too should be prosecuted.
Do you think that Diddy, obviously the participants that, they're claiming, the federal prosecutors are, that he was trying to keep the women engaged in this, particularly Cassie, because she's the only victim identified at this point in the indictment, trying to keep her in line and using these tapes to blackmail her and saying, look, I'll expose these if you ever try to leave me, that type of thing. That's what is being alleged. But do you think that there was a bigger purpose here, possibly blackmailing other people in the music industry, other people in Hollywood? Was there something for him to gain from videotaping these things in Hollywood and in the music industry?
There's no question that the video evidence of others participating in sex acts can be used for blackmail or extortion. And obviously, the commercial sex workers, they're victims, but the people that were participating in them, to the extent that they're caught on tape, Diddy would have something over them, something that could embarrass them personally, professionally, and may help further Diddy's career. The irony is all these videos are now going to be used as evidence against Diddy himself. So by trying to gain power in Hollywood and in the music business, he may have provided law enforcement and prosecutors the very evidence that's going to be used to take him down.
One of the things I've been wondering, and a lot of people have kind of speculated about, is, Diddy he's the king of his own kingdom. He was the boss of Combs Global and the other businesses that he ran, but there may be somebody bigger than him. Is there somebody maybe above him? Does he have anything or anyone to offer the government to get himself out of trouble? You said you expect him to take this to trial. You don't expect a plea deal. But, there's all this talk and gossip about whether or not Diddy has things he can offer the government, people in the sex trafficking trade. And of course, he contends he's not guilty and he hasn't committed any crimes. But do you see that? Do you see there being people higher up in the food chain than Diddy that he could tell the government about or give information about?
There's always the possibility that Diddy is going to flip on others. The question is, who could that be? It would really have to be someone very high up, Angela. I'm talking people in Washington, D.C., politicians. There aren't a whole lot of people in the music business or in the movie business that are more famous and well known than Diddy. But if he did identify many other people or all the other people who participated, that certainly would have some value. It's unlikely, but it's a possibility. Obviously, Diddy would have to turn in a very different direction. But even if he did, I can't imagine any scenario where Diddy gets off with little to no time because of the just egregious nature of these charges.